But still the bottom line is we still have too many families out there that are dysfunctional to the point where somebody is beating the tar out of somebody else, or worse, they're killing them. And that costs all of us. We all pay for the ambulance, for the emergency services, for the court processes, for the rehabilitation processes, for the lost productivity, and frankly, for the screwed up kids that are going to be coming out of that family. It costs every one of us real money. Bucks on the barrelhead here. This is not a victimless crime. This is not a cheap crime. It's expensive. So I can't tell you what it is we need to do to solve this, and I wish I could. But I don't. I don't know why we have utterly failed to raise the next generation to not beat on the people that are closest to them. I don't know how we failed to do that, but we did, because the statistics are even worse. One of the things that this government stopped doing, and I understand why they stopped doing it, because it was embarrassing. Okay, fair enough. But you know what? Woman up here. You know, there's all kinds of analogies and rude things I could say about find some courage. For heaven's sake, get over it. I don't care if you're embarrassed. But these are publishing annually the statistics of the numbers in the shelters. And I can't even remember how long ago it was that the government stopped publishing the numbers of women who are turned away from the shelters. And we know now, if you can dig it out from places if you're determined enough, but that shouldn't be how it works, that we turn away more people that come to shelters than we're able to find space for them. And I know that's embarrassing for the government. Tough. Because the rest of us need to know that. We need to know what those numbers are and how many of those people are out there and looking for assistance, and because it reflects on us. And it gives us all an out. It lets all of us off the hook because, well, hey, they're all looked after, right? No, they're not. And I think we're somewhere in the tens of thousands range of women that are turned away from shelter spaces in Alberta at this point. And I don't mean 30,000, I mean 13,000, if I remember the last statistic that I heard, but I'm out of date by a couple of years there. Because I think we all need to know that information to understand how large the issue is in our province and in our cities and in our communities. And the other thing that happens there, and I just have to speak out on behalf of women who don't have children, because of course, and I understand this and it makes perfect sense, but the women who get accepted into the shelters first and get space looked after are women with children. And you can understand why that happens. They've got little kids. You can't leave a kid out on the street. You can't say, well, go couch surfing at a friend's place. Go and sleep at a friend's place for a couple of nights. You can't do that if you've got a couple of kids with you. So women with children get admitted to these shelters they will be taken care of. Women that turn up at a shelter without children, those are the statistics of women that got turned away. And so we have to discriminate. There is discrimination there, and the discrimination is against battered women who don't have children. And it's not that we want to do that, but that's the way it works. So, and that's a tough, I mean, the idea, the thought behind that is that, well, they can find some other kind of help. They could find a friend to stay with for a couple of days and then move on to another friend and work something else out. But to me, it's still a reflection of how we make excuses and how we deal with what is a really insidious and pervasive crime against our society. Because I'm offended when a woman is beaten because she's a partner to someone that thinks that's okay to beat on her. That's an offense to me. It's an offense to every person sitting in here, and we need to think of it that way. So this bill is a good step in the right direction to show we really mean it, and here's the punishments if you don't obey those protection orders. But we still have a heck of a long way to go on this whole issue. We've actually gone backwards. And it may be that we've managed, you know, way back when I first started working on this, I remember doing a project when I was at the Advisory Council on Women's Issues. And I tried to figure out how much money a battered spouse, and that can be a man, by the way, don't think that doesn't happen. And it also exists in gay and lesbian relationships as well. Nobody gets off the hook on this one. Nobody gets to be proud and say, not in my community, because that's simply not true.